Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming back to the Art of the Oracle. I'm in a new location, so I've been waiting for some of the construction and the banging to stop and decided just to go ahead and move forward. So thank you for being here this morning. This is a tap-in reading. I am using the Deviant Moon Tarot. And this is the first tarot deck that I've used for these morning readings. Not the first tarot deck I've ever used, but for morning readings it is. I've been using oracles, and I'll probably go back to oracles. We'll see how I feel next week. I am very excited to see where the energy is going as we head into the weekend. So let's tap into the cards and see what they have to say. Okay, so the first card that came out is the Tower card. The Tower card is really about sudden change and the ending of something. It feels sudden, but it typically is something that has led up to this really big change. And what's interesting is that it came in reverse, which, you know, looking at this Tower card, you know, there's a focus. It's almost like a light of inspiration has come in to create this change. So when you think of the Tower, it doesn't mean your whole life is falling apart, but it could mean that things that you have done, you're now seeing the destruction either of that behavior, or you're seeing the destruction of something in your life, or the letting or the need to let it go. And usually it comes about because it had to come about. And so because it's here in reverse, I feel like it's a lessening of that, meaning that it, you know, it's either ending, like you're now coming into a time where this is leaving. I mean, I feel like last year was a whole Tower year for me. I don't know how you fared, hopefully better than that. But I feel, so they're pounding again next door. I thought I could slide in between it. But that's what this card is offering us. You know, if you look at it upside down, it's almost as if everybody's rising out of the ashes, right? They're rising above things rather than falling down. But so that's the way I'm looking at this card, as if it is the ability to rise from a hard lesson that was learned. Okay, so let's see what else the cards have to say. I feel like this one wanted to come out. So this is an Eight of Cups, and it's really interesting. I'm going to take this one too because it's kind of coming out. So I feel like this is kind of going in line with the Tower card. It's almost like, you know, you're leaving something behind. You recognize, like, you have a lot. She's all cloaked in red because red is like the root chakra, and it really it's about our grounded energy and things. So it's the tangible things in the earth. And the cups are about emotional energy. And she's at this point walking away from things that are no longer like this overindulgent behavior. And no longer needing it because she's had so much. She's had a lot, and she's recognizing that more sometimes is just more, and it's time to walk away from things and simplify her life a little bit. So that's where that card is. The next card that came in is the Six. The Six of Wands is really a beautiful card that denotes victory and being out there. So the reason why all these hands are up in this you know, fairy really looks so it looks almost regal, or like you just came into something. So the Six of Wands comes after a time of recognition, or at a time of recognition. And whether it be that you're now recognizing something, or typically the card is about others really seeing the change or the new you or the thing that you have to offer and celebrating you for it. So that's what, you know, this energy is bringing in. It's really a lovely card to come in after these. I'll just shuffle a little bit and see if there's anything else that needs to come. I love this because if you think of all of us, we have all had moments where we've really just got to the point where we had to let something go, where it was no longer serving us and it was time to end a situation. So, and then this is really reinforcing that this was just, more is just more sometimes. And more can just complicate situations. Sometimes it's easier to walk away from some things and take a breath, then come back into it, because we can get overwhelmed by too many choices. So as we move into the weekend, recognize that these energies are around, but you have an opportunity to really shine this weekend as well. And I think you'll do it from being able to recognize these things that you've let go and these behaviors that are no longer serving you, and then rising. And then people will really applaud you for, your ability to do that. Or perhaps that something, that you've let go of is bringing way for something coming in where you will receive. Sorry. So lots of fun stuff. Okay, I had to pause the video. My dog she's got a very big voice, and I am watching grand dogs here too. So there are 3 of them, and when they get going, it's a cacophony of very deep barkers. So I have 3 Scottish Terriers here with me today, and they're all wonderful and love to bark. So sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna move these over here a little bit more in the middle of the, so I was gonna shuffle to see if there is anything else that would like to be. I feel like the reading is pretty full, but let's just see if anything else. Okay, 2 more cards came out, and it's interesting because this one kind of came out in reverse, and then this one. And so this one I think we got yesterday, and it was about planting things, a new beginning here. But this is like the garlic that, I was talking about, it was warding off almost like a vampire energy. And because it was in reverse, and it's kind of highlighting here, this would be almost like getting ready to break ground for something new. So because it's in reverse, I feel like it's, all right. Well, I had to pause the video again. It's interesting that all these cards are the way they are, because I felt like I had to fix a storage issue with my recording, and and so my tower moment with that is ending. So I really hope your tower moments are ending as well. Where we were at was I asked to see if there was any more cards available, and these 2 cards came out, this one in reverse. And what I had mentioned before is that this is kind of like the just about to break ground, right? Not really moving forward yet, but breaking ground. And then there's kind of a halting to that. So maybe you're changing focus. This kind of feels like, to me, it reminds me of a teepee, which would feel like a safety. So perhaps, this beginning that you were heading in the direction of, is changing. Maybe that's part of what this tower moment is saying that you were heading in a direction that it's now going into a different direction, as opposed to the one you thought that you were going to go in. I think the cards have been leaning to some surprises anyway. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this. Okay, so something has stopped this this new thing that was going. And there is the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles comes out when you're kind of afraid to move forward, right? When you're holding on to everything. And it's almost like a miserly holding on. It could be a stability card, because it does, in the 4 of Wands, it's a very stable card. And this could be just about being able to now hold on to more things. If you feel like things have been going out a lot, and this could denote a time where this is changing a little bit, and now you're finally going to get to hold on to some of the things, because he's got this little skeleton and there's a little clock here, and that tells me that maybe it is time that you get to hold on to a little bit more of your money. And I feel like that's all, that's a good thing. With all the expenses that seem to have gotten higher just for profit of big business sometimes during COVID, they really took advantage of that. Instead of, you would think that we would get a break, from from the expenses. They seem to have been going up. So I feel like maybe this is saying that some of this you're going to be able to hold on to a little bit more money. And that there is maybe a change up in where you thought you were going to break ground, and now it's going to change slightly. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm going to try to finally get it up. It's much later today, but I hope whenever you see this that it's relevant for you. And thank you so much for being here. Bye now.